First guest today is CEO of the world's largest advertising agency, and he's worried what business will look like a year from now. Sir Martin Sorrell is CEO of WPP, parent of ad agencies for Coke, for Pfizer, and Kraft. His gray advertising brought us E-Trade, smart talking baby Super Bowl ad. Love that. He joins me right now from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Good afternoon, Sir Martin.
Well, good morning here, but good afternoon with you. Or maybe it's just afternoon as well here, too.
Well, you know, I got to ask you first question because we led off with it, that you're worried about what business might look like a year from now. What's your big concern?
Well, I think 2011 closed well. We're in a close period now, so I have to be careful what I say. Won't stop me. 2011 closed quite well. Certainly better than we expected, both top line and bottom line. As far as 2012 is concerned, we're budgeting top-line growth like-for-like, excluding acquisitions and currency at around 4%. Goldman, I see, put out another GDP forecast, Jim O'Neill, this morning at 3.5 real, so nominal, let's say 5.5. So a budget of 4% or even better than that doesn't look crazy in the context of 2012. The reason I'm concerned about 2013 is that the world's biggest economy, the $15 trillion gorilla, the United States, out of $65 trillion worldwide, really hasn't dealt with the deficit. And I think after the election, which I think we feel President Obama has a very good shot at winning come November, after that election, really the rubber does have to hit the road. And you can't kick that can down the road anymore. You have to focus on deficit reduction. Maybe with a Congress that's dominated by the Republicans, it'll be even more difficult to deal with. There are no events. You know, here we are at CES, but we have the Super Bowl coming up. We have the Olympics in London, which I'm sure will be an excellent event. We have the political election, which will add something like $3 or $4 billion to U.S. spending, advertising spending this year. And we have the European Football Championships. Come 2013, we don't have that. So I worry about what we're going to see in like-for-like growth in 2013. So we have to be careful.
Yeah, well, you just can't spend more than you make. It's one of the basic principles, and it's about time, I guess, some governments learn it. But moving on to who's actually doing the spending in terms of your clients, which sectors, which companies are actually out there willing to invest in advertising right now?
Well, I think it's a very interesting thing, Tricia, that's happened post-Lehman. 2009, all bets were off. 2010 and 11, what we saw is certainly the BRICS and next 11, Brazil, Russia, India, China, other markets such as Turkey and Indonesia, Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, all these markets coming to the fore, and clients investing in capacity and investing behind the brands in those higher growth markets. You see it in Jim O'Neill's work at Goldman. The other thing that's happened very interesting is in the slow growth markets, where companies have been frightened to invest in capacity and increase fixed costs, they have invested in the brand. So we got a positive double whammy. And then in addition to that, a third feature is what we see here at CES, is investment in technology. So the automobile industry, you see Ford here, for example, investing in technology, cars being launched last year on the back of technology. Alan Mulally here this morning doing a keynote panel. You see telecommunications, you see the digital technology companies such as Google and Facebook and Microsoft, and you see the traditional electronics companies such as Sony with a strong presence, and you see the chaebols. I'm going to Detroit later today to see the Detroit Auto Show. Just like Hyundai have a very big presence in Detroit, you see Samsung, you see LG here with very strong performance and product and stand. So similar categories that we see there.
So, Sir Martin, it sounds like there are a fair number of companies out there in a variety of sectors that are willing to spend some money on advertising. Where are you seeing a pullback?
Right.
Is there concern about Europe right now, for example? Some of the European companies, we've been talking a lot today on the show about domestic versus global.
Yeah, well, geographically, obviously, there are question marks over the U.S., but we've seen a stronger position in the U.S. We've seen the unemployment statistics come down. Jim O'Neill revised his GNP forecast to 3.5 real for this year on the basis of the U.S. being a bit strong in the short term. Western Europe really defining that as France, Italy, Spain. Less in our case, the US, where we saw strong growth last year, and we'll see again, I think, strong growth next year, this year. Germany, I think I put with Eastern Europe being stronger growth. So really, it's France, Italy, and Spain, I think, that people worry about most. Obviously, Portugal, Ireland, Greece, are obviously on a smaller scale concerns. Maybe the UK in some cases. But the world is bifurcating. It's really different speeds in different parts of the world. The BRICS and Next 11 leading us forward. On the technology side, it's pretty much affecting companies across the board. Whether you look at pharmaceutical companies, particularly in the professional areas, automobile companies, travel, entertainment, even financial services, you're seeing investment in technology and digital, in Google, in Facebook. You know, we're investing with Google.
Okay, before I have to let you go, because we're running out of time, I just want to know what's special about the Super Bowl ads this year. Last year, you had the E-Trade, Talking Baby. People loved it. Anything new this year?
I think the interesting thing this year will be the balance between offline and online. One of the interesting things post-Lame is we would have expected free-to-air television, such as Super Bowl, World Cup, Olympics, to have been less popular amongst clients. It's actually got more popular because there is a compatibility between the growth of these new devices, iPods, iPads, smartphones, tablets, whatever it is, and Bloomberg, and traditional television.
Company
so traditional television. Well, you have to wait and see. There's a lot coming, and it's also in the context of the Olympics and the European Football Championships, and of course the election. The election will have a big role and will add something like $4 billion to U.S. ad spending this year.
That's a very good point. Indeed, it will. Sir Martin, thank you so much. Great to see you. Terrific insight. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.